Okay, so we did the stretches and then we did that one by the dorsal that's more of a mix of strengthening and stretching, and this is really more strengthening. So starting on your left side, we'll bring forearm to the ground and knees bend. If you've ever done DNS stars, I don't know if you have, but that's what we're doing actually. So the knees are in front, they're not straight down behind you, meaning my knees aren't here, my knees are in front. Closing the knees together. Again, we always want to make sure that they're stacked, that the knee on top isn't behind the other one. That we're really keeping one hip directly over the other and not shifting back. Shifting back places too much odd pressure on the sacroiliac joint, so you really want to make sure knee over knee. The elbow is directly under the shoulder, not way out here. And palm of the hand is on the floor. I like to put a blanket under my elbow because it just feels better. So what we're gonna do is take the arm and open it up nice and wide and lift the hips up and take the knee up at the same time. So this left hip is off the ground, right knee is off the ground. Come back down and the hip doesn't quite touch the floor and the knees don't quite close. And open, and everything comes back almost to start position. Open, and almost to start position. So after you've done that a few times, if you feel comfortable with that, is lifting up. This top leg shoots back and the right leg goes, right arm goes forward. You come back to star and you come down. Lift up, right leg shoots back, right arm shoots forward, and you come back. So you do that a couple of times to each side. So on this one, you want to try to do even amounts to both sides since it's strengthening. And after you've done something like that, a strengthener, then I would highly recommend coming back to that one where we were on the floor, knees bent, tabletop, one knee slightly shifted back. If you're doing the left knee, do that 2 or 3 times. Find a neutral position, coming back down to your belly, coming back to your hands and knees. Right knee shifts back and coming back a few times so you can re-stretch that muscle that you contracted. After you do that, I would come back to the ground after any kind of strengthening and finishing with this up and down, because you want to see what's happening in the pelvis again and in the upper back, and just doing this a few times. When you finish, just on this side, heel toe, both feet over to the left, knees stay close together, right arm reaches, left hand grabs that wrist, and finish with a few breaths here. And after a few breaths there, let yourself come back to neutral, and then just take a few moments to rest. I don't know if they've told you also that, a couple of bridges can be good, but anytime after you've done strengthening, you want to come back to some kind of stretch so you can make sure that muscle doesn't pull and draw back in. So start with the stretching, do that a couple of times first, then graduate to that mixed one by the dorsal where it's strength and stretching, and then if you can to the DNS star, and especially with that reach one. When you get over to the other side, you'll feel the strengthening happening on that hip. Sometimes, whether it's coming from gluteal tendinopathy or whether it's from your QL, I'm wondering if it's your QL from the car accident, because it's right side, right foot, that it needs to stretch, but it also needs to be strengthened, because if you're guarding, you're gonna lose some of the strength. So let me start with that and let me know if it helps, and if it does, we could add more. If it doesn't, we can see if there's something else that might be more appropriate. Okay.